Hey guys, so I'm back. Sorry. If you haven't seen part one or part two for day two, like, just watch it, whatever. I don't know. This is all confusing and I'm high and I just don't know. But anyway, let me get back to it. So, yeah, I was doing good all day. And then I didn't get anything from Trader Joe's. And, my friends wanted to go to Trader Joe's, but I didn't get anything from Trader Joe's. And I didn't pick up the free food or whatever. So I was doing really well, even though people were telling me to bring it home. And like, I just, and I was thinking of all the foods that I wanted and I didn't have it. So I was, where I was at was, in the last part was that I was saying that I'm committed. I was committed to doing it. And I said that I was, whatever, you'll watch it. Anyway, if I'm saying the word wrong, I don't know, I'm high, I'm sorry. But I already committed to it, so I was like, I don't know, might as well just, or order pizza too because that's what I wanted. So I ended up telling him before my son went to bed. I said, "Hey, can you order the pizza?" And he's like, "Oh, pizza." And I'm like, "Yeah, order pizza and I'll order Wendy's and then you order the McDonald's and I'll have like a whole feast or whatever." And then I also I made stuff with everything that I had left over in the fridge. I made pasta with cheese and broccoli and with broccoli and ground beef. So I made a whole bag of pasta. I was like, great, let me just do one bag of pasta. Da da da. I finished the cheese. I finished all the Chinese broccoli and brown sauce. I finished all the ground beef that I made the other day. Like, I finished everything. So I was like, great, like this is perfect. Like, I I'll be able to have everything. And then I was like, oh, I can have this food too because this food is here, out here, and I can eat that too. So I was lining up everything, right, to go and eat and really cheat. Like I was really going to cheat and I was going to do it. And I said, you know what? I'm not going to, this is not a, I was telling myself, this is not a setback, whatever, whatever. Like this is just something that you just do sometimes. And, I'm not gonna take it off of the thing and I was saying to myself, oh, I'm not gonna document this as a failure. I'm just gonna go and I'm gonna fucking enjoy, and I'll pick up. Like I won't cross off day two today, but I'll pick it back up tomorrow. So it's not like I'm starting from scratch or whatever. Which is bullshit. I am starting from scratch, and I was like, and then I weighed myself, and I was like, oh, I did lose some weight, so it's great, and blah 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 blah. Like really trying, sorry, like really trying to convince myself that I'm doing this and it's fine. Like I was trying to convince myself and saying like this is fine, you can do this. It's perfectly normal. Like it's perfectly normal. It's perfectly fine. People slip up, but they get back at it. You lost some weight. You're not gonna gain the 10 pounds that you lost already, or like 7 pounds you lost already all in one night, and all of this stuff like that was going in my head. And I was like, oh, surprisingly I didn't get a lot of bulimic thoughts like, oh, you can puke it up and da da da. I did get some, like I got some like where I'm like, well, you're gonna puke it up anyway, and get lots of drinks and stuff like that because you're definitely gonna puke that shit up, so it's perfectly fine. So I was like really trying to convince myself that it was okay. And I was really committed, but I still didn't eat anything. Even when I made the pasta and all of the stuff that I told you that I made, like I put it together, all the pasta basically. When I made the pasta, and I said that like I don't know what I'm saying. Sorry. When I was making the pasta, like and mixing everything together and stuff, I asked John to to taste it. I asked him to taste it. I said, hey, can you taste this? Oh, God. Sorry, I'm cold, so you might not see me at some points, but whatever. You can still hear me. You can still know the story. Anyway, I told him, I was like, oh, taste it for me. Because I still didn't break my fast and things like that. And it was like, literally, it was like a battle between two people. And I'm trying to give up my food addiction. And it really is an addiction because I didn't want to cheat. Like, I wanted to do this. I kept saying, it's only 40 days. It's only 40 days. Every day you do it, it's going to be this, that, and the third. John made a comment too and said like, oh, it's only been 2 days or whatever. And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, oh, it probably feels like 100. And I'm like, yeah, it feels like I'm at 100 days already. Like, it's so long. Like, it's becoming so slow. And so I was, I was like it was so hard for me to really resist all this food. And I ended up just not eating anything because, I'm still fighting the two sides. And I made everything came, and I went downstairs, I rolled up my weed, and I went downstairs, and I started smoking. And we smoked or whatever, my food came or whatever. I still didn't, even when something like dropped on my hand, like food or whatever, sometimes like you're on your finger or whatever, you lick it off or whatever. I didn't even do that. Ugh, sorry. But I didn't even do that. There's someone like throwing up or something. I don't know. Anyway, I'm just gonna ignore it. But yeah, so like I didn't even do anything. I didn't do any of that. So I went downstairs and I smoked my weed. Like, we smoked cigarettes first, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna enjoy this food and enjoy that food and all this shit, right? And then I go and I'm like, I'm gonna smoke my weed and I'm gonna really enjoy this food. So I came out here, smoked a cigarette. Then John went back upstairs because he had to go back to work. And I started smoking. And when I smoked, I was thinking and like contemplating. I'm like, oh my goodness, like I'm really gonna cheat. Like it doesn't make any sense, because usually when you smoke weed, you get hungry. You get the munchies, you feel like all of this food, you're like, oh, I want to devour everything. When I smoked the weed, I felt nothing. I didn't feel hungry. I felt full and content. And even before that, I was laying down. I was like, after making all of this food and stuff, I'm not even hungry. I don't even want it. And John was like, yeah, usually that happens because you want it, because you can't have it. And now that it's here, it's like, it is what it is, which is so true. Okay, I promise the last part is going to be the last part to this update, because it's practically day 3 anyway. But it was very hard for me. I was fighting 2 people pretty much in my body. And one was saying, eat, you can do it, it's just a cheat, whatever, and that's my food addiction. And the other part is like, no, like, you worked hard, you want to do this, it's only 40 days, it's not like it's 5,000 days, like, that's a lot. 40 days is very small, it's a month and some change, it's not that bad. It's gonna be okay, like, you'll be fine, you'll be A-okay, and everything will be amazing, right? It was like, man, it was so hard. to fight those two people. But I'm going to talk about it in the last part. I promise it's the last part. But I'm going to talk about it in that part. Stay tuned for part 4, right? Because this is part 3. Yeah, 4. So, all right. Peace.